Hi, my name's Laura Patante. This is My Two Bits, and today I have this cute little mouse, paper mouse to make, and super easy to do, and so we'll just jump right in. All right, so before we get started with materials, I just want to take a second and ask you to please give the video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. That would really help me out a lot. So materials for this little fellow don't need very many. We're just going to use some gray cardstock, a little tiny piece of pink cardstock, and some black cardstock. And then the PDF is available right there in the video notes, as always. Other materials we're going to need. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and ruler to cut myself a 2-inch strip. Now, if you are doing this with some kiddos at school or at home, you might want to pre-cut the 2-inch strips, and so then you won't need to have that portion. Otherwise, we're just going to use some scissors, and then I have put some details on with some with a white gel pen, and you could do the eyes with a black pen. Otherwise, I have my little hole punch here that I like to use. I like paper clips to help hold the template in place, and then we're just using some glue sticks. So that's all you need. It's fast and it's easy to do and lots of fun. So let's just jump right in. So just before you head off to cut out your pieces, I'm just going to show you a little trick that I like to do. Of course, you can cut out the entire body just like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pre-glue right there where the nose is going to be. And I'm just going to put this paper clip on for a minute to let that dry. And while we're doing that, I'm going to talk to you about the tail. I've given you the obviously the template for the tail, but this is a very sort of skinny, hard to deal with little piece. So if you just take another strip, this is 8.5 by 11, so it's the width of the paper, and go in with your scissors, start fairly narrow, and then make yourself just a slightly wider V as you go out. You will get a perfectly awesome tail, and it'll be super easy to do. So either way, you can do it. If you want to try and cut the template out, go for it, but I do find this is easier. And then we're just going to round up the end, and then you have an awesome tail. And you can make your tail longer or shorter depending on what you like, and you could also make it fatter. It's your mouse, make it your own. So there we go. And then to curl our tail, we're just going to rub that with our fingers. You can use your nail. All right, so let's go back now and just have a little quick boo at this. I'm going to keep holding it. So what I've done is I've actually gone ahead and cut my template in half because I only really need the face part. So I'm going to line that up so it's nice and centered on there. I'll put my paper clip back on. And now I'm going to cut, holding it all together nicely along this line. And I'm going to do the same. I had to come from the other direction. There you go, easy peasy. And while we're here, we're going to cut these little slits for the ears. Do go slightly inside that dotted line there. You don't want to go too big. Make sure you're going just under. That should do it. We're just going to take that off, and that will hold the ears in place, and we'll let that continue to dry while we're doing the rest. For everything else, if it says cut to, just double the paper up and cut away. And so once you get that all done, we will go ahead and put it together. All right, so while we're just giving our nose a little chance to dry a little bit further, we'll go ahead and finish off the ears here. So same thing, we're going to cut our little slots there, and then I want you to think about how the ears are going on here. Slots are going to be the top before you start trying to glue these on, because you don't want to put them on the wrong side of the ear. So we are making some good progress here. We're going to go ahead and glue on our tail, and that just goes down at the bottom in the middle. And then we can do our ears. Now what's going to happen with the ears is you're going to slide them in make sure they fit good, that you've got your little slot far enough. And if it doesn't go all the way in, then you're just going to give it a hair more of a trim. All right, and then you're going to put the glue right here on this portion, just the little flap. Now once you have the glue on, it's a little bit trickier to go in. There we go. Okay, so we press that down and this will get folded up. And we can play around with the ears once they've dried, but right now we don't want to mess around with them too much. And now we can go ahead and glue on our nose. And you can do the same thing with the nose. You know, you can make it bigger or smaller, rounder, and you could do it pink if you wanted, whatever you like. I like that he's kind of got a big nose, but then his eyes are little. So, and as I said, you could easily go ahead and with your pen just draw on your eyes. You could use googly eyes as well if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, so then we could go in and you could put, if you want, a little highlight on the nose. And you could give him little whisker marks. You don't have to do that. And then again, we're just going to kind of gently, you see how I'm still holding the ear where it has joined, because you know paper is still pretty delicate. We don't want to damage it. So there we go. There's our little mouse. I think he looks pretty cute. So I hope you had fun making that craft with me. If you did, then please give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much for joining me today. I just realized that I didn't talk about the little piece of Swiss cheese that I used in the photo. So this isn't included in the template. All I did was cut out a little triangle of the yellow cardstock. I rounded the edge and then I used a few different sizes of hole punch to pop in the holes just to make it look like Swiss cheese, and then he has a little resting place. So if you want to go ahead and give that a try, go for it. And thanks once again for joining me.